Hello, this is Devanshi. I am recording this video as a submission to Graduate Rotational Internship Program, the Sparks Foundation. So, the topic of today is that we have to make a machine learning model to detect the species of a flower using K-means clustering. So, the question might be arising that why only K-means clustering? Why I chose this particular algorithm for solving this problem? So, actually, the question is, according to the given data set, you were given certain features, like I was given the petal length, the petal width, the sepal length and the sepal width, and I have to predict that what is the cluster or what is the species of the flower, but I was not given the labels that there are this and this kind of flower, there is Iris virginica, Iris versicolor. It was not mentioned. So we all know that whenever the labels are not given, there is a unlabeled data, then it comes in the category of unsupervised learning. So in order to solve such kind of problem, we use clustering, and K-means clustering is a good approach for that. So I am using this K-means clustering thing. As the first and the most important step is to import the libraries, and the three most important libraries are NumPy. So we will import NumPy as NP in order to perform the numerical computations. Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT for the visualization purposes, and pandas in order to store the data in the form of data frames and all. So the first step is to basically load the data set. So we can load the dataset with the help of pd.readcsv function, because I have stored this data in the form of edis_data.csv file, which is present in the same folder in which I have this ipynb file. As you all can see that this is the folder, and I am having this iris_data.csv file, where these are the features: sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and the species. And the species is actually not known that in which category I have to put it, but it is just given that these are the species. So it is a unlabeled data. So in order to have a look, I have this df.head function. This head function will by default show the first 5 entries, and if I just write any other value, like if I write 7, then it will show me the 7 entries and so on. So the first and the most important thing over here is to decide the number of clusters for K-means. Actually, the different machine learning models, they have different hyperparameters. In the same way, in K-means we have this number of clusters, and in order to decide, we have to decide that what is actually the number of clusters. So finding the optimum number of clusters for K-means classification. How we do that? For that, first of all, we have to define the features, that okay, these are the features, this is my iris data frame, and from that I have all the rows, and I took these are the columns, and these will comprise the features. Okay, then I have to import this K-means obviously from scikit-learn, and I made an array, that is WCSS array, that is within cluster sum of square. Here I will store the error by putting I will try different values of number of cluster, and I will see that at which number of cluster K-means is performing like what, and whatever is the output it is giving, or whatever is the error is there, I will store it in this WCSS array. Okay, so because I want the number of clusters, I want to choose those number of clusters for which my model, for which that K-means clustering will perform best. So for that, I just took it in the range from 1 to 11, and I just tried to output, and I just tried this K-means with all these different number of clusters, and each time whatever was the output and whatever was the error, I just stored it and just kept on appending it to this WCSS array. So now we have this WCSS array. So the main thing comes over here, like how to actually determine the optimum number of clusters. For that, we use a technique, that is the elbow method. So what is this elbow method? This elbow method is basically, it helps us to determine the number of optimum number of clusters. What we do is, we make a inertia plot between this WCSS array which we just created and this number of clusters. So we can see is that in this inertia plot, the number of clusters corresponding to which we can see a steep fall in this WCSS array, that number of cluster is considered to be the optimum number of clusters. So by this, as you can see, that corresponding to 3 number of clusters, we are getting a steep fall. So the optimum number of clusters are considered to be 3. We instantiated this K-means cluster corresponding to this 3 number of clusters, and then so we got this model. With the help of, we just fit the samples which we took, we fit that samples in that K-means which we instantiated, and then we fit it into this model, so that we can even use this model later on while we want to predict any other unknown sample, right? So we just predicted the samples and then just put the output in the label. With the help of that, you can see that we got 3 different labels, because we 3 different clusters, because we decided that the number of clusters will be 3. So what we did is that corresponding to each cluster, we tried to represent it using different colors, so that we can have a good visual. And those having label 0, we just call it as iris setosa. Having label 1, we call it as iris versicolor, and having label 2 will be called as iris virginica, and we gave it certain color. And along with that, we calculated the centroid for each and every cluster, and just also try to depict or show that in the graph. So here you can see that these are the 3 different clusters, and these are the centroids of those clusters. Okay, so next we have, if you have any random sample. So the question which is arising in your mind is that, okay, how actually K-means cluster do this? How whenever we give any random values to it, we give any random sample to it, then how it can assign this to a particular label? Like in this, it just assigned it to this label 2, according to which we said that, okay, if these are the features, then that particular flower belongs to iris virginica, because 2 corresponds to iris virginica. How did that do that? What it does is that it calculates the centroid for these particular features, and then it will match with the centroids of the given clusters, and the cluster with whose centroid this centroid is like closest to, it puts this sample in that particular cluster. And this is all how it decides that, okay, this belongs to which cluster, and it gives the result. So this is all about this model. Thank you.